We're going to look at finding the slope of a line given its equation here. Before we get into this too much, I do want to explain something here. If we do have a linear equation, we talked about this before, we can have ax plus by equal to c. Okay. Now, if we look at a linear equation like this and we solve it for y, we say it's written in a little bit of a different form. The form would be y is equal to mx plus b. Now, in this case, when we look at this line, or we look at a line in the equation of this, we're really solving this type of line for y. And in this case, what we can see, if we look through here, what I'll do is get a linear example here. And say we have something like y equals 2x plus 3. Okay. Now we can write this in our standard form if we'd like to. Standard form, we have negative 2x plus y equals 3. And if we want to look at this from a graph standpoint, let's see what we get here. So we'll do this by intercepts first, then we'll look at how we do this through the equation of a line. So first, when we're looking at this, let's say we want to set x equal to 0 to find our y-intercept. Well, in that case, really we're saying 0 plus y equals 3. So y is really equal to 3. So our y-intercept would be here. Now, if we want to know our x-intercept, then we set y equal to 0. So when y is equal to 0, what we get is negative 2x is equal to 3. X is equal to negative 3 halves. So x basically is equal to negative 1 and 1/2. So the x-intercept would be right about there. Now we have a line. Okay. Easy enough. Now, we had this line in this linear form, which wasn't standard form, and we put it into standard form to solve through the intercepts. Well, let's take a close look at what we have here with this line, because this really ought to be able to show us something here. So, if we look at this, the first thing we ought to understand is if we have a line in this form, well, we can look at where the y-intercept is. It's at 3, which matches this number. So when the line is in this form we're solving for y, the y-intercept is going to be equal to 0 on the x and the value that we have for b. So when we have y equals 2x plus 3, we can see, well, that's 3 is the y-intercept. The other thing we can look at in this case is, if you'll remember, I said is slope, so we have y equals mx plus b. So really, when we're thinking about this, we're saying the slope on this line from the equation ought to be equal to 2. And that's right here. So can we say it's equal to 2? Well, 2 is written, the fraction is 2 over 1. So in this case, if we go up 2 and over 1, we should land on the line from a point. So let's start here on the x-axis, and let's go up 2. 1, 2, we're halfway there. If we go over 1, there we are, right on the line. So we can see that if we have a line and we're solving for y, which means y has to have the coefficient of 1, remember, in this case, then what we're going to see is we'll have an equation that will give us the slope as m and the y value for the y-intercept as b. I think this is a pretty easy thing for us to work with. This is what we call slope-intercept form, essentially. And I want to make sure you understand, slope-intercept is what it says. Slope-intercept is our y equals mx plus b, and we get the name because m is relevant to the slope, b is relevant to the y-intercept. That's why we call this slope-intercept form. Now, let's look at a situation here and say, hey, what if we wanted to find the slope and y-intercept? So we want to find the slope and the y-intercept of a line. And the equation outline, let's say it's y is equal to negative 3/5 x minus 2. In this case, we know the slope is negative 3/5. We know the y-intercept, negative 2. It's that easy. And we can draw this line also. We can graph this line in this manner. Because if we think about it, let's go up here and try to get rid of some of this middle line that we had in this graph. We use the graph if we can. Maybe. Got a little delay here for some reason. Alright, there's our graph back working. And let's look at this line that we had in green down here. Negative 3/5 x minus 2. We know the slope. We know the y-intercept. And we know the y-intercept's negative 2. We can go down here and place that point. Now, if we know the slope, negative 3/5, remember, it's rise over run. So we just say negative 3/5. We're looking at a rise here and a run. So basically what we're going to say is we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's another point. The other way we could write this is 3/-5 also, which means we go up 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be right here. Now these lines all, I don't know if I'm going to draw this that straight, but they all line up. So basically, if we're looking at a line in slope-intercept form, it's very easy for us to graph. We can graph a y-intercept and then move according to the slope from that point. So hopefully this helps out with a little bit of slope-intercept that we have here. And the next one we'll be looking at horizontal and vertical lines. So hope you have a good one. Bye.